going, everyone? I'm Evan Titus. I'm here to talk to you about 1MDB and the Billion Dollar Whale by Tom Wright. 1MDB is one of the greatest business scandals of all time. It was a sovereign wealth fund created by the Prime Minister of Malaysia, which was meant to benefit the economy and attract investors. However, highly ranked officials stole over $5 billion for personal use. There were ups, downs, twists, and turns in this book, and I'm going to explain it all to you. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back with Evan on the background of the book. Evan? Thanks, Evan. So to start, Zhou Lo was born in Penang, Malaysia, into a wealthy millionaire family. He was then sent to Harrow Private School, where he was classmates with children of Middle Eastern princes and kings. This was Lo's first taste of real extreme wealth, power, and prestige. He then went on to the Wharton Business School and made lots of powerful connections. Through those connections, he landed in Abu Dhabi, where he found Mubadala, which was a new kind of sovereign fund for the United Arab Emirates. At the same time, his family was becoming close friends with Najib Razak, the Malaysian Minister of Defense, who had a good chance of being the next Prime Minister. Lo's entire identity was built around deception. His whole life he wanted to appear wealthy and in charge. As a kid, he borrowed his dad's friend's yacht to impress his friends by switching out the pictures of their family for his own. At Harrow, he would collect money from his friends, and on nights out, it would appear that he was paying for everything that was being bought. At Wharton, he plagiarized professional analyst reports and presented them as his own stock picks in the Wharton Journal. Lo's deception convinces Najib Razak to start his own sovereign fund, 1MDB. Lo had no official role, but he was in fact running the fund for Razak. What was in it for Razak? It was a good way for him to look like he was doing good things for Malaysia, just like bringing in investments and helping the economy. But it was also a slush fund, which is an illegal or corrupt account to benefit politicians and feed money into their pockets. What was the scandal? Well, $1 billion from the 1MDB fund were being stolen and spent by high-level officials, not on investments, but on yachts, properties, art, and other luxuries not related to the development of Malaysia. And what did Zhou get? Well, through the 1MDB investments that Zhou Lo made, he would receive handsome fees, and he diverted this money into shell corporations that were under his control. In his first scandal alone, Zhou made $700 million and much more thereafter. What did he spend it on? Partying, partying, and partying. Just 3 weeks after his first fraud, he had a birthday party at the Palazzo in Las Vegas, where he flew Playboy models on private jets to watch him and other wealthy men gamble, play high-stakes poker, and hang out with celebrities such as Leonardo DiCaprio and Paris Hilton. Other times, he was helping fund the movie Wolf of Wall Street, as well as getting into a bidding war to see who could spend the most money on champagne. Lo won, spending upwards of $2.5 million in one night. Another key player in this is Goldman Sachs. Just last week, on October 23rd, Goldman Sachs admitted its role in the 1MDB scandal, and they are to pay $2.9 billion, which is the largest penalty in U.S. history for violating foreign affairs laws. What did they do? Goldman bankers received $600 million in fees to facilitate bond deals that funded 1MDB, but these bonds were priced unusually high, and they used these profits to bribe Malaysian government officials to retain their business. Hey, good job, Evan. I bet you're wondering, how does this book relate to analytics in any way? Well, it relates in two ways. One, investing. When they were making real investment decisions, which they did, they used analytics to pick investments that would get them the highest return for the fund, as well as finding trends within Malaysia and picking investments that would match those trends. They also used analytics when they were committing fraud, to hide their illegal actions by covering up money and finding better ways to hide their money and hide the actions that they're doing. The second way that analytics relates to this book is how they got caught. Bankers, lawyers, politicians, and members of the 1MDB board noticed that certain officials were curiously spending money more than they should have. And this sparked the thought that maybe 1MDB wasn't what it seems. Bigger organizations also noticed this, specifically the Department of Justice. They used analytics to dig deeper into 1MDB's records to find any insight that they could on the fund. They found that unusual amounts of money were being sporadically moved in and out of bank accounts 2 or 3 times more than they needed to be. This set off a worldwide investigation into the legitimacy of the fund and ultimately led to the downfall of the Prime Minister in 2008 and the Goldman Sachs penalty that was enforced last week.
Hey, good job, guys. Let's give them a round of applause. They deserve it. Oh, my favorite part of the book? I'm glad you asked. Well, the author Tom Wright does a really good job of describing things in this book that really just make it come to life. If you're not interested in finance or financial scandals, this book will change that. There are ups and downs, twists and turns, and Tom Wright does a great job of describing all of it. Another part of the writing that I like from Tom Wright is the party scenes that he describes. With Cirque du Soleil type entertainers walking among them on stilts, while acrobats in lingerie swing on hoops overhead, there are several monster trucks parked on the fringes, and a troupe of about 20 little people dressed as Oompa Loompas, beating a path through the revelers. I mean, that type of writing is just so descriptive, and it makes the book come to life. I really recommend reading this book, and I'm glad I got to.
Feeling hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Feeling hot, hot.